Hi, everybody, and welcome to Ivy League Analytical English. I'm Karen.
And I'm Wesley.
Today is July 13th, and we're on page 42 in your magazines. And today we're going to hear part one of a two-part travel article entitled Meet the Dukas and Genghis Khan.
好，我们的中文标题是塞外风情，寻找驯鹿及铁木真的踪迹。
And we have a little 副标题 here. It's the Dukas' culture and lifestyle are dying out. Meanwhile, the memory of Genghis Khan lives on.
好，那我们的这个小标题呢是说这个杜克哈人他们的文化还有他们的 lifestyle 他们的生活形态 are dying out 正在消失当中啊。同时呢 meanwhile 啊，那 the memory of 这个成吉思汗啊仍然怎么样呢？持续的流传下去 lives on 就是这个 legend 或者他们的 memory 仍然持续下去的意思。
Now, before we start listening to this article, I want you to be ready to think about something.There are a lot of traditional peoples all over the world, people who are living a traditional lifestyle. But this is now being threatened by modernity. So we now have a modern, comfortable lifestyle. We live in houses. We're stationary. We're not nomadic. We have cars. We go to work. We like to play with our phones. Now, do we really want the whole world to be just like that? Or do we want to preserve these traditional lifestyles?You have to look at it from the other point of view. If you live a traditional lifestyle, you're not getting in on all of these new things that are happening in the modern world. Is that fair? And also, a lot of these traditional lifestyles are outright uncomfortable.
好，所以呢，这个地方我们讲到，很多人都会注意到这个问题哈。随着各国啊的现代化、都市化啊，很多传统的生活方式都慢慢的消失当中了。好，那有的人就会对这个就觉得好可惜哦啊。不过，同时我们也可以想想，这些传统的生活方式是不是所有的都值得保留啊？还是说，有的时候有些传统生活方式可能事实上也不是那么的舒适啊？那在这样情况之下，这个取舍可能就会是一个更复杂的问题了。
Right. That's something for you to think about because there is no one absolute good answer. Everybody has to figure out their own answer, and often it's some kind of a compromise.I can think of a similar situation when I visited Orchid Island, Lanyu.A lot of people there still do live a traditional lifestyle. But, of course, it's being encroached on by modern life. So, what can we do? Now, I talked to a few of the local people there, and they said, if we earn enough money from tourism, or if the government can give us a kind of subsidy to keep us alive, then we can keep on living our traditional lifestyle.But as things are now, it's not that sustainable. We'll probably have to move to a big city and make more money so we can support ourselves better.
好，所以像这个 Karen 老师他说他曾去兰屿哈，那他跟那些当地人谈了一下啊，那当地人说，这个如果我们能够从观光业啊或者靠政府的补助哈 subsidy 哈，政府的补助啊，我们如果能够这个过日子的话，那当然我们也不介意哈，就过传统生活，但是这个事实是他们现在感觉起来他们过着传统生活啊，那有一点不是能够非常的 sustainable 哈，这个没有办法，
没有什么收入啊，
没有什么收入啊，所以没有办法持续下去啊，那所以他们也许啊 eventually 他们可能要搬到大都市里面另谋生活。
Right, so that's just one example that I thought of. Keep that in mind as we read part one of this article. And here we go. The Duka, a group of people in Mongolia,live a traditional lifestyle like no other in the world. Their whole way of life is built around reindeer. They depend on this hardy animal in many ways, especially for transportation. They are used for riding on and as pack animals. The reindeer are also important to the Duka for their milk, which is used to make cheese and yogurt. They also eat reindeer meat, but only a few of the animals are slaughtered and eaten each year.Reindeer are so important that the Duka move along with them according to their grazing needs. Indeed, these nomadic people treat the wild animals essentially as family members, showing respect to them and protecting them from predators such as wolves. This unique way of living, however, is under threat, and experts say the culture is dying. It has been estimated that there are only about 40 families, or less than 300 people,who are still carrying on this traditional way of life. One reason for the decline is that the younger Duka generation is less willing than their parents to face the harsh conditions and cold weather associated with the lifestyle. In many cases, they prefer a less nomadic way of life, living in wooden cabins rather than moving in tents along with the reindeer in the wintertime. Another problem for the Dukha is the Mongolian government's decision to declare a large portion of land, known as the Tangus-Shishket Protected Area, as a conservation zone. Since its creation in 2011, the Dukha have no longer been able to use this region as pasture land for their reindeer or to hunt other animals for food. Adding to the difficulties, there are fewer reindeer than ever before due to disease. Now, if you ask me, the situation sounds pretty grim.
好，这个 grim 就是很暗的意思啊，晦暗的意思。
蛮危险的。That means that they really do have some formidable difficulties to face and overcome.
他们显然还有很多问题必须要这个面对啊，而且要克服。
What's formidable?
Formidable 是可怕的意思，或者是艰苦的，
或者巨大的，相当大的一些困难。They have pretty big problems that they have to face up to. They have a lot of things going against them. I think the biggest, in spite of all the other big problems, like the government's already using the land as a protected area and there's disease, all of those are serious. But the biggest problem, in my opinion, is the young people. If they don't want to continue the lifestyle, it's not going to continue.
这可能最大的问题是年轻人，他们如果不愿意这样过日子的话，他们如果觉得这样过日子太苦的话，那大概很难持续下去啊。
Yeah, I have a similar experience. I visited a very, very rural place in Georgia, the Republic of Georgia, 就是乔治亚共和国. And they rely mainly on goats. And they even have a fengdi. They have a kind of bagpipes that's made of goat skin. So a lot of their life is it revolves around goats. And it was a really interesting place, but it was pretty primitive. It's not like you don't have modern comforts. We had to get up in the night and walk through the wet grass to go to the bathroom and things. There were a lot of inconveniences. So I asked, how about your sons? Are they going to take over the goat herding and stuff? And they said, I hate goats. Yeah, they don't want to do it.
所以 Karen 老师有个人的经验啊，他在这个乔治亚共和国这个去拜访过一家人啊，那他们都是牧羊为生啊，甚至于还会用羊做一些乐器啊等等的啊，但是生活条件真的是不是那么的舒适啊，他没有抽水马桶啊，那晚上要上厕所还要这个离开他们睡觉的地方啊，走一小段路啊，才到这个茅房啊，到厕所去。好，那生活不是那么方便，所以他问那些年轻人说：“你们这个喜不喜欢羊啊？”他们很讨厌羊啊，他们换叫他们对那种生活形式，他们不是喜欢。
Right, so I think it's a really similar situation. The older father kind of shakes his head and he sees that this lifestyle probably will not continue if he has to rely on his sons to continue it.
所以那个爸爸也许也知道他这个儿子以后他以后要靠他儿子，那但是他儿子也许不会把这种生活方式继续持续下去。
Okay, let's go back to the beginning. Meet the Dukas and Genghis Khan. Now, the Dukas, I bet most of you haven't heard of. I myself hadn't heard of them before. Genghis Khan is probably what we know best about Mongolia. So they picked out two very unusual things or special things about Mongolia to form the topic of our article today. The first sentence, the Duka, a group of people in Mongolia, live a traditional lifestyle like no other in the world. Now, when they said like no other in the world, and I had read ahead a bit, I kind of wondered because the Sami people, they used to be called Lapps, L-A-P-P. Now they're called Sami, S-A-M-I, of Finland and Sweden. They actually have a similar lifestyle that revolves around reindeer. So it may be unique because it's got Mongolian characteristics, but there is another Aboriginal people that leads a similar lifestyle.
好，所以他这个地方呢，他说这个杜克哈人呢他们是一群住在蒙古的人那他们过着一种传统的生活形态这个 live a traditional lifestyle 就是以传统生活形态过生活。然后呢 like no other in the world 是修饰那个生活形态，就他们的生活形态呢是跟其他世界各地都不一样的，
跟任何另外一个地方都不一样。However，
但是呢，这个 Karen 老师说，这个其实在芬兰那个地方，应该他们那里也有一些人他们的生活呢也是一样，跟驯鹿有非常密切的关系。
Right, they're called Sami, S-A-M-I. Their whole way of life is built around reindeer.
那这里这些杜克哈人呢，他们的 whole way of life， 他们整个的生活方式 is built around， 就围绕着什么而建立。那他们在这里是围绕什么而建立呢？围绕着 reindeer 而建立，所以他们整个生活都是围绕着麋鹿而建立的。
They depend on this hardy animal in many ways, especially for transportation. They are used for riding on and as pack animals.
好，那他们依赖这种 hardy 这个字中文翻成吃苦耐劳它英文的意思就是 capable of enduring difficult conditions。好，这个很艰苦的状况它都能够 endure， 都能够忍受下去所以吃苦耐劳的动物。那所以他们依赖这种吃苦耐劳的动物呢 in many ways， 在很多方面都这样非常依赖这麋鹿这种动物尤其是 for transportation， 尤其是为了交通就靠麋鹿来这个解决他们交通问题。然后呢继续解释一下，麋鹿 they 就指这些麋鹿呢 are used for， 他们用来干嘛呢？ riding on 是用来骑的，而且骑在 on 就告诉你他们是骑在鹿身上的然后呢 also as pack animals pack animals 就是这个用来携带重物的那种动物啦这个就是 animals used to carry loads 就是 LOAD 你要有负载的动物那中文就翻成驮畜就驮东西的那个驮然后呢这种牲畜所以驮畜
I often wonder what animals are thinking when we make them do so much work. Like we ride horses, we have oxen pull plows, and here they carry heavy things. I guess you really have to cultivate a good relationship with your animals so they think that they are getting enough back, that it's worth it for them to do all that extra work.
Yeah, 好，所以这个我们骑马然后用牛耕田像这个地方我们用这个有一些动物我们用来载货物那他们在工作的时候不知道怎么想那所以 Karen 说我想至少应该是主人要对他们够好，他们才会觉得说他们愿意这样的付出。
Otherwise they'd run away. So I guess it is an iron rice bowl for them, maybe. I don't know. 铁饭碗。
铁饭碗这个英文好像没有这个我没有听过这种说法，不过 it makes sense.
Yeah, we sometimes use it in the newspaper when we're talking about China, but because they are guaranteed food and they'll be taken care of by their master and given maybe shelter, so they think, yeah, okay, it's worth it.
Yeah, 而且至少可以保护他们不会被 predator 伤害所以他们也许他们就觉得这个还可以啦，就这样子吧。
Okay. The reindeer are also important to the dukkha for their milk, which is used to make cheese and yogurt, and that makes my mouth water.
那这个驯鹿呢也是非常重要，对这些这个杜克哈人很重要。为什么呢？ For their milk， for 表示原因因为他们的这个奶那这个他们的驯鹿奶呢 is used to 被用来干嘛呢？ make cheese 用来做乳酪然后呢还有 yogurt 还有做 yogurt。
They also eat reindeer meat, but only a few of the animals are slaughtered and eaten each year.
他们也吃驯鹿的肉，但是呢只有这个少数的这个驯鹿会被这个 slaughtered 就是被宰杀然后呢 eaten 被吃掉，每年他们大概只杀来吃只有几头鹿而已。
Reindeer are so important that the dukkha move along with them according to their grazing needs.
那驯鹿重要到什么程度呢？重要到这个杜克哈人呢会 move along with them， 会随着驯鹿迁徙according to their grazing needs 根据驯鹿这个放牧的需求他们要去哪里吃草，他们要去哪里那这个人就跟着他们搬，所以是不是人决定要什么时候搬哪里是看驯鹿什么时候要搬去哪里。
And it has to be that way because they have to get enough to eat to stay alive.
Yeah, 而且这是必要的，因为他们驯鹿必须要有足够的食物才能够存活，那人类才能够存活。
Indeed, these nomadic people treat the wild animals essentially as family members, showing respect to them and protecting them from predators such as wolves.
的确，这些 nomadic people 就是游牧民族treat 对待这些野生动物驯鹿essentially 基本上就是怎么样 as family members 基本上就像家人一样treat someone as 怎么样就是把这个人当作什么来对待。那他们在这里把这些野生动物呢 基本上 essentially 就是对待就好像是家人一样 family members 一样。
I think you'd have to do that for them to be willing to do this.
Yeah, 这一定的，不然的话那驯鹿都不听你的话，因为驯鹿很大只的。
Right.
那
They're very strong.
而且非常强壮所以这个不能随便惹的那同时呢，他们也 showing respect to them 他们对驯鹿呢表达出尊敬我很尊敬这些驯鹿。然后呢 protecting them 保护这些驯鹿 from predators protect someone from 某人就是保护 someone 不受某人的攻击所以他们保护这些驯鹿不受这个猎食者的一个攻击。那猎食者包括什么呢 ？Such as wolves， 例如说狼。
This unique way of living, however, is under threat, and experts say the culture is dying.
那这种独一无二的生活方式呢，是is under threat， 就是正受到威胁那 experts say 那这个专家们说 the culture， 在这里用定冠词就是表示他们的特指这个杜克哈人他们的文化 is dying 在这个消逝在消亡当中。
It has been estimated that there are only about 40 families or less than 300 people who are still carrying on this traditional way of life.
好，那 it has been estimated that 这后面接个子句，就是据估计曾经有人这么估计过。这个 has been 就表示这件事情，这估计是过去发生的，但这跟现在有关系，因为我要引用这个 estimate 这个估计的东西来告诉你一些事情。所以呢 it has been estimated 用现在完成式。所以据估计呢，大概只有40个家庭然后呢，或者是不到300人，目前呢只剩这样子这个数字的人呢 who are still carrying on 他们仍然在持续的 carry on 在这里就是 continue 的意思，或者这个坚持的意思persevere 的意思。他们目前只有不到300个人仍然坚持着这种传统的维持着这种传统的生活方式。
One reason for the decline is that the younger Duca generation is less willing than their parents to face the harsh conditions and cold weather associated with the lifestyle. Now that one hits home with me. It's bad enough living through winter in a heated house, but I would not want to live through any winter in a tent.
所以这个在过冬在帐篷里面过冬非常非常的艰苦的所以这个他说这个 one reason for the decline decline 就是一个 a gradual decrease 就是一个慢慢的减少所以这种慢慢的减少或者衰退的原因之一呢，就是这些年轻的 the younger 你看各位他这种 younger 不是用 young 因为 young 的话感觉起来就是还年纪很轻 younger 的话呢感觉起来可能是他们的青壮年就跟老人家比起来比较年轻的那些这个杜克哈人呢，他们这个 generation 他们这一代年轻的一代呢 is less willing 比较不是那么愿意，叫做 is less willing 那这个 than their parents 跟他们的父母亲比起来，他们不是那么愿意，比较没有那么愿意要 face 面对这个 the harsh conditions harsh 就是严酷的这个很严酷的 severe 或者是什么unpleasant 这种 conditions 在这里呢它要加 s， 因为 condition 加 s 呢这个复数名词它表达的是 external 或者是 existing circumstances， 就是外在的环境还有已经存在的环境，这叫 conditions 有一个 s。 所以换句话说，他们要面对严酷的外在环境，也就是他们的气候等等的还有生存的地方and cold weather， 他这里把 cold weather 特别拿出来讲cold weather 也是 conditions 的一部分也是 harsh conditions 的一部分，但是非常的厉害，所以特别拿出来讲。然后 associated with the lifestyle 是跟他们的这种生活模式生活方式有关连在一起的， associated with 就连在一起，所以他们要过这样的传统生活方式，他们就一定得面对这些严苛的天气还有严酷的外在环境。
You can imagine young people wondering why I should live such a difficult life when people in the city have their cell phones and have such a warm and comfortable life. I just happen to be born into this culture. Why should I have to have a more difficult life?
年轻人可能会问说，为什么我就一定要过这种日子我只不过是生在这样的环境里面，难道我就一定要所谓的这个遵循传统文化吗？我难道就不能追求我自己个人的生活吗？年轻人难免都会这样想。
In many cases, they prefer a less nomadic way of life, living in wooden cabins rather than moving in tents along with the reindeer in the wintertime.
在很多情况之下 in many cases they prefer 他们比较喜欢 a less nomadic way of life 啊，比较不是那么的游牧的，比较没有那么游牧的一种生活啊。那什么意思呢？例如说，他们希望能够住在 wooden 啊这个木头的 cabins 里面啊，这个木头的小屋里面，而不是moving in tents， 而不是这个到处搬家啊，然后呢住在帐篷里面。好，那这个当然帐篷跟小木屋比起来，当然小木屋会舒服一点啊，所以呢，他们不愿意随着 along with the reindeer， 不愿意随着这个驯鹿啊，然后呢这个到处搬家住帐篷，他们希望能住在木头的小屋里面啊。In the winter time，winter time 就是 the winter season 啊，所以冬天的时候他们不希望然后到处搬家住在帐篷里面，他们希望住在小木屋里面。
Another problem for the Duka is the Mongolian government's decision to declare a large portion of land known as the Tengiz-Shishked Protected Area as a conservation zone.
好，那另外一个问题对于这些杜克哈人来讲，另外一个问题是蒙古政府他们决定要 declare 就是宣布宣布是什么什么它后面有一个 as declare 什么什么什么 as declare A as B 就宣布 A 是 B。所以他们宣布什么呢？蒙古政府宣布的 a large portion of land 很大的一片土地呢 known as 一般人都称为这一大片土地呢，把它称为腾吉斯西黑德河流域，它把它变成一个保护区所以蒙古政府把它画出一个很大的保护区然后 as 把它这个地方当成一个 conservation zone 就是一个这个保育区conservation 是保育那个 zone 就是区所以把它这边变成一个 conservation zone.
Since its creation in 2011, the Duka have no longer been able to use this region as pasture land for their reindeer or to hunt other animals for food.
所以问题在这个地方。他说自从这个保护区建立是2011年之后呢就2011年建立这保护区之后，这当地的这个杜克哈人呢就再也没有办法 have no longer been able to 再也没有办法use 使用这一个区域把它当做一个放牧地pasture land 就是一个放牧地给他们的这个驯鹿他们也没有办法 hunt other animals for food 也没有办法在这个地方打猎的那这个应该是个很大的问题，这个政府其实应该要考虑一下这个最早我们看那个西部红番片其实就这个问题，就是殖民或者移民说这块地是我的了你们原住民不能来，那原住民就搞不清为什么我不能去
This is my hunting land.
Yeah, 然后就打起来了。
Adding to the difficulties, there are fewer reindeer than ever before due to disease.
Due to 是因为，所以因为 disease 因为疾病，现在呢这个驯鹿的数量也减少了，那这个东西都会 add to the difficulties 会加在这些困难上面，加在这个维护传统生活的困难上面。
That's all we have for today. Tomorrow we're going to hear about Genghis Khan, so you'll have to make sure you tune in then. And in the meantime, please go to Facebook and look for 我是赖师兄 and Karen on Ivy Analytical English. And hope to see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.